Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all the ungodly that are among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed. Turn to Christ and be redeemed from your slavery to sin before it is too late. If you are outside of Christ, you are still abiding under the wrath of God and need to repent and believe the gospel. Just wanted to get that out of the way before I started, but in this video I want to go through a bunch of old random points in September clues, just loose ends that haven't really been tied up yet. They might have been mentioned by people before and dealt with minimally, but not to the extent, as far as I'm aware, that I'm about to show everyone today. So let me just pull up my guideline. Okay, so I want to start off with talking about the issue, whoops, 1 second, of Simon Shack's original YouTube channel. There was something that happened on March 4th, 2018. His original channel was deleted. So he started this new channel the same day, and all it has on it is the original September clues. Other than the, yeah, this is the only upload. So yeah, he kind of rants about it in the description, and then, you know, there's people commenting, oh, YouTube censorship. You know, I mean, they might just be deceived. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. But, you know, this was 2018, 10 years after this had originally been released, or thereabouts. And it had already done its damage. It had about 1 million views or so. And he just goes insane. And he discusses this a little bit on his Clues forum site. And it wasn't actually September Clues that was the reason for his channel's termination. It was fake Pentagon smoke. I thought he had another thing in here. Oh, yeah, 9/11 actors and fake Pentagon smoke. So, you know, this is typical. This is starting to happen more frequently. I mean, just go out there and look for, like, my channel got deleted, or YouTube flagged my video for inappropriate content, or something. I mean, you'll find a bunch of these from within, you know, starting around this time. So, you know, I'm not saying that it should have happened, although it was good, I guess, because he did have a lot of garbage on here, and it was good that that got taken down. However, there are things in September Clues now that he says, oh, I don't actually hold to that anymore. That was never true. Everything is just CGI. And 10 years later, he has a whole decade to re-edit his masterpiece, and he doesn't do anything with it. He just re-uploads it with the same old lies in there. You know, if he really wants to get the truth out, you would think that maybe you would spend some time editing that, you know. All he says is, oh, just go to the Clues forum, but there's, I mean, just so much in here that I am at a loss for words, clearly, because I don't know what to say. But anyways, so I just wanted to mention that briefly. I'm aware of that. Whoops, I don't want to go there yet. What do I want to go to? Okay. So I'm just going to be going through a couple of the main, not the main points, points that have not been addressed yet in the depth that I would like. Whoops, I'm going to mute that. I do not need any of the audio right now. So, part A, this is not where I want to be. Okay, he starts off, you know, bashing people like Teresa Renaud, other witnesses. A lot of it just has to do with context. If you listen to their entire statement in context from start to finish and stuff outside of that, You just have to watch the TV coverage. And a lot of it is going to resolve itself. Like what Teresa Renaud is saying. Whoops, that is my outline. I don't actually need that open anymore. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since I'm doing it, yeah, I was going to, May 18th, 2018, I was going to, originally I wanted to do a September Clues debunkery full point-for-point analysis, but, after I started doing this was the first 10 minutes. It took so long, I'm like, you know what, this is going to take forever to edit, just forget it. So, but this, I just do want to say this about Teresa Renaud. Okay, she's speaking in the plural. I am in Chelsea, and we are at 8th and 16th. We are the tallest building in the area, and my window faces south, so it looks directly onto the World Trade Center. And I would say, approximately 10 minutes ago, so anyways, there's all this language of we everywhere. I mean, she even does that thing where she corrects herself from saying, my window faces south. There are clearly other people in the building, so when she's acting, suspiciously, as a lot of people think, it could be that there maybe are other people in the building screaming or whatever, just reacting to what they just saw, and her mind is trying to, I don't know, still speak to, who is it, Bryant Gumbel or whatever. She's still trying to speak to him and stay involved with her, I don't know who it is in the building, but I don't know if it's an apartment building or if she was at work or what. Anyways, so yeah, there's so much. I just encourage you, do some study of the live TV coverage like I did, okay? This was, again, last year, last edit, May 12th, 2018. I went through 17 channels, 17 different news stations, and just listed each witness of either plane, plane being used with a lot of asterisks and caveats and everything, you know what I mean by the term plane. I would just note if they saw it or if they heard it. Don Daler, he heard what sounded like a missile, since that's there. So, and then yeah, Flight Explorer, I ended with that. So, 17 channels. After that, there's not really any more witnesses. And I will say, I only watched from the beginning of the coverage, from 8:46 as early as I could get, which I think is 8:48 in WNYW, until about 10:30 or 10:40, because after that, no one cares about the impacts. All they care about is the towers going away. So, and then I did sort them. After this video, I'm gonna put these on my blog site that I only have for research purposes, or for if I have supplementary material on my YouTube channel, I'll put like PDFs and stuff on that blog site. It's, if I remember it correctly, wait, I think this is it. Okay, yeah, just cuber911.blogspot.com. Yeah, clearly I don't know how to use this very well. And this was, yeah, January 2018. So I just started a little thing. Yeah, I uploaded that Steve Dayak thing. And then just an intro where I said hi. So, whatever. But I'll post those to there. So, okay, moving on now. This is really what I wanted to get to. It has to do with the Chopper 4 footage and the ball out. Oh, Elliot Walker. Maybe I don't want to go there right now. Just, yeah, I'm not going to go into detail on every single witness. Whoops. If you really want to know more, just go to my blog site and take a look at these actually. Elliot. Yeah, here we go. Elliot Walker. Yeah. She heard a low-flying plane and saw a DC-9 or 747 fly past her window for 175 during the call. Anyways. And, yeah. Oh, I'm not where I want to be. Because I was going to get to that later, because I can see that in my notes. Okay. Yeah, the ball was allegedly shot from a helicopter. I mean, I don't suppose that, you know, this has been debunked for years. It's not a ball. If you get a higher quality piece of footage, it has wings on it. Okay? He's using garbage footage there. If you actually get the raw NIST FOIA version, okay, WNBC Dub 1048, it has wings. If you look closely, I mean, you know, you can see that. But back to this. So, you know, the width, this is just, seriously, it's behind the towers. It's not right next to it. Okay, let's just go to Google Earth for a second. This is what I've been working on for like 2 years. It's my 3D analysis, hopefully, of, this is every single angle that recorded the alleged Flight 175 on camera. Okay, every video, every photo. This is 102 angles that you're looking at here. Okay, there's one more that I have not yet found, and that is the FBI number 10 on Matt Nelson's site. It's number 49 in the list. I cannot find where that one was filmed from. It was probably somewhere in, well, I don't know, in this region, but, you know, it might take me a while to find that. Any help with that would be appreciated. But if you can't find it, no worries, because I found every other one. So, let's see, there's Chopper 4. I just click on that. Okay. And I should hide the new One World Trade Center. Okay, there we go. So, this is not, he's not being honest here. Anyone who knows anything about, I mean, just, this is just common sense. This 160 feet, oh, it's not the same size as the tower. Okay, look, this is, what second marker is that? That's the 4-second pillar. Okay, it was still over the water at this point. So, of course, it's not going to look like it's the same size as the tower. Okay, but to proceed. Yeah, whatever. Chris has dealt with that before. I'm not going to get into it. Okay. Okay, he says this. Once again, TV anchors fail to notice plane approach. Again, anyone who's watched the live TV coverage knows that, maybe it's not in this one, I think it was Janice Huff. Yeah, here we go. Now this is not, she does not say this live, but while she was watching TV from her home, she did see the, oh, come on. She did see this and called in to report it. And in fact, wrong one. It is because of her that the other news anchors are aware that this angle did in fact catch the alleged Flight 175. Let me just go to it to show you what I mean. I'm glad this is still here.
Another witness, Janice Huff, on the telephone. I'm not sure if it's our Janice Huff, but she apparently was a witness to the second explosion.
You saw this? Where are you?
No, listen, I'm watching TV right now.
Yes.
And, you know, I can see the pictures that we have of the building, the first building, the one with the tower on the top. And as I'm watching it and you're talking, I see a plane flying behind the other tower. And I see it getting closer and closer to the building, and I'm thinking, is that a plane? And it was. And all of a sudden, I see this explosion in the other tower. So there was another plane.
So there was another plane with a second explosion.
From what I am looking at on television, from the angle that I was looking.
Here's a replay right here, I believe.
When I was watching looking at the first tower, I noticed that there was a small plane coming around the side of the building. You see it there on the right?
I see it. I see it. I do see it right there.
There it is right there.
I see it.
And then it goes boom, right there. Watch.
That's
There
it.
it is.
You're absolutely right.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I don't know if it's a helicopter or a plane, but it was certainly flying and it went right into the building.
It was a
Okay, so there you have that. She saw that and reported it. If you watch this full coverage, up until she calls in, they were unaware that they were unaware that the Chopper 4 footage did catch that. Sorry, I should mute that. Wait, what was that witness? That was 13 something, whatever. And I will get to this later. So I maybe should leave that open. Okay. I need to go more quickly here because this is going to take me forever if I keep going at this speed. So later he talks about the ball out. Is this somewhere? Gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's later, but let me just pull up the original footage just to make... Don't freeze on me right now, please. No. This is not a good time to do this. Don't do this on me. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Back to this. So I'm not going to find it in the thing. It'd take me too long. But, whoops, that was it. So he talks about this little, he calls it the ball out right there if you saw that little black blip between the towers. See that right there? And he says, this is another example of like what we had with Chopper 5. It's layer masking where the plane goes in front of the towers. Like, not that that happened in Chopper 5. Although, actually, I think he does say that at some point, but I don't remember. So, it does seem like there is this ball out feature, but if you go back to here, you can see that there's this gap between the towers, and you have water behind it. Okay, one of the things he talks about the Matrix, where he only, what am I trying to say? He says, you know, oh, we can see the plane blip between the two towers in like 5 different pieces of footage, and, you know, were they all filmed on the same axis? And it's very deceptive because he makes it seem as if you had to be looking like this. You can look like this, and can still be a gap between the towers. So, let me go back to wherever Chopper 4 is. Okay. And you can see the gap here still. The gap can get a little bit wider if you go farther to the, what would that be, the east. And you can still get a plane blip between the towers. So, it's a bit deceptive how he... Well, it's not a bit deceptive, it just simply is flat out deceptive. But you have the water showing right there, and try to watch the edge of the south tower. I'm going to try to keep the cursor next to it. It's going to be a little difficult. I might have to pause and play. Okay, this is still the edge right here. But as the camera zooms out, the water blends in with the tower. So the edge is still right here. That is water that you're looking at. But it looks like it's part of the tower. So by the time you come to here, I've kind of lost it at this point, but the edge is still about right here. Okay, the edge is not right here, it is more like this. Okay, and you can kind of still see it. Not very well, but then camera zooms in. Okay, this is the edge right here. Okay, it's not here, it's here. So when you see this blip, it goes right to the edge, and then just watch as the camera zooms in. That indeed was the edge. There is no reason to be suspicious here. It's perfectly normal what we see, and in fact, if we did not see that, if that black blip disappeared earlier, then there would be something wrong. But it disappears at the right spot. And actually, I think there was a paper that the scholars group did back in like 2007. It was supposed to be a September Clues debunkery, point-for-point thing. Now here we go. Truthaction.org. Debunking September Clues, a point-by-point analysis. It's I've only skimmed it. It's not that impressive. It was in 2007 that he did this, I think. Right? Is that what? Yeah, 2007. And when he doesn't even do the whole thing. He just completely skips the Pentagon and Shanksville, just as I will do here. Simply because it's been covered by Chris in his film. I cannot praise that thing enough. He's working on a second film. I don't know when or if it will ever come out. Just because I know how busy he is now as compared to last year. But that would be neat. So, what am I looking for? Ball out. Sorry, I gotta find it. Here we go. The ball out is a piece of debris falling from one of the towers. Seriously? That is just pathetic. I don't even know how to respond to something like that. That's just ridiculous. It's not... come on. Anyone with any amount of common sense can see that is not a piece of debris falling from one of the towers. So... I don't know how such a horrible blunder was put in there, but it was, and it's laughable. Okay, just making sure. Been going on for like, what, 22 minutes now? Okay, and then I was going to mention something about we just saw a plane circling the building. Right here. Just conveniently goes to the right spot. And there is some confusion as to what this meant because, you know, it did kind of wrap around. Like if you're looking from, I don't know, the Empire State Building, it does look like the plane is sort of circling the building from this perspective. You could interpret that to be a circle. But I think, I don't know if I've actually said this in my TV fakery series way back when, or if I thought about saying it and never did, but either way I'm going to say it again. Jennifer Spell, in her full-length footage, well actually in her phone calls with Jeff Hill, she says that she saw Flight 175 before it hit, like not just in the last few seconds, like a few minutes before. Actually, I think I did show this. But Jennifer Spell, where, there it is. I don't need that open anymore. And yeah, right here. She said, and she actually says this in her phone call. She's like, yeah, see this? That's actually the plane before it circled around. So, could that be Flight 175? Possibly, maybe, probably. If it is, that would refute, I mean, that would be huge because according to the official story and pretty much anyone that you'll talk to, Flight 175 never should be, whoops, where we see it in this video, if that in fact is Flight 175. If it's not, then oh well, whatever. But if it is, that is very alarming indeed, and there'd be a lot of implications if we could prove that that's Flight 175. And I think it was Scott Myers, who I talked about this with Chris in our video chat we did in January of 2018, that Scott Myers said something similar. So you know, could this be what this means? I don't know. It's too vague. I don't want to be dogmatic about it. And the one last point he brings up is, oh, there's the ball out thing. Okay. Live versus evening news. Oh, they took out the backdrop in the evening news. It's not the evening news. Okay? This is WNBC Dub 1056, this one. That's what I call it. Matt Nelson calls it WNBC Leaning Towers, whatever, same thing. I just call it by the raw NIST FOIA file. So, just has a nice ring to it, and I like that. So, WNBC. Here we go. These two videos have very similar perspectives. I mean, you can see there's the chopper 4 marker. They are not 100% identical. There is still a gap between the towers here, although it is very, very small. And in fact, you're not even going to be able to see it just from what Google Earth does, but there is definitely a small gap. And Simon points this out. You can see it actually still there a little bit if you were watching. But there is still a gap between the towers, because Simon's going to bring that up, so I just want to say that in advance. Whoops. Okay, backdrop gone! Whoa. Okay. Even just by a brief side-by-side comparison, you can see these are definitely not the same piece of footage. It's not the same angle. Look at the fumes here. You have this little protrusion to the right. You know, this goes in. There's like a C right there. It is, you know, one cursor length away from the antenna. Right here, it's touching the antenna. Okay, this shows that this was filmed farther west, which is in fact what we see in Google Earth. We also see here in this one where this white part of the antenna starts. You know, there's black then white. If you follow this over, this little hump of fume is partly, you know, this lighter part is in the white realm of the antenna, if this is making any sense. Over here, it's all within the black realm. So this one was filmed from higher up. This one was filmed from a lower elevation, as we see in Google Earth. So just, you know, by looking at that, it's obvious these are two different pieces of footage. Now, he makes it seem as if this was never shown until, you know, 5 or 6 o'clock that evening, when in fact, come on, it was shown within 2 minutes of the event. I put way down at the bottom in here, sorry. MSNBC, okay? I even just said, you know, it's shown at 9:04, 9:05. I listed all the times: pause, play, pause, reverse, and zoom in, continue. Wow. Anyways, then I just gave it up. So, of course, this is what I hate about 9/11 research, is that eventually it is all just dead links. Everything's just going to be, yeah. Fortunately, I do have this, so. But within 2 years, everything is just going to be a dead link. And that's what Chris was worried about as well. That was easy. What was the time on that? 12:23. Wait, this is at 9:04, so this starts... Oh, I'm already there. Great, perfect. Okay. So this is after it already happened. That's basically... Okay. Here we go. So again, here's the Chopper 4 footage. Let me skip ahead a bit. Farther. Okay, there we go. So that's what, 16:33 right there. I'm just going to skip ahead to save time. There you go. There's the replay, not even 2 minutes later. Okay, this was not evening news. This was shown over and over on MSNBC. Okay, and Matt Nelson has not pointed this out. You know, the earliest he's found is 9:56. I'm like, I saw this, I'm like, Dino 4? Seriously? And people still think this is a valid point. You'll still see this all over the place. Okay? And there was somewhere else I was gonna... Earlier I said, oh, I need to save that for later. It was when I was looking up Janice Huff. If I can type. Okay, yeah, it was... Oh, I left it up for this purpose. 1650. Okay, watch this. Chopper 4 footage. And... then the angle switches to the WNBC Dub 1056. And then again. So, I mean, you can see the perspective change just in these 5 seconds. It's obvious that that's a completely different piece of footage. But when he puts them side by side, it does look a little deceptive. So, okay, have I gone on, how long? Oh my gosh, like half an hour almost now. And I'm only through the first 10 minutes. I'm going to skip the thing about Mike Walter, the whole thing about the Pentagon. Well, actually, I do want to briefly comment on my concern with these videos. You know, there's only 4 videos that are in the public domain of the Pentagon event. There's this one, there's the other one that was filmed from the other column that was like it's the same exact angle for 2 of them. Then there's the Citgo gas station video where we can only see a smudge of a shadow, and then there's the Doubletree Hotel. So, you know, none of them show the alleged Flight 77 in any clarity. There's not really anything, you know, we can see a plane silhouette at some point. And he's using such a bad... Whoops, I didn't want to close that. Oh well. You know, he's using such a horrible copy of the footage there that it's just... Why is this computer just running so slow today? Okay, sorry. I forgot how I was going to finish that sentence because I don't even remember what the sentence is anymore. Whoops. Okay, 23. There we go. You can see there's the tail. Just go back 1 second. Okay. Then you have this white smoke. Then this is supposed to be the tail and the body of the plane hidden behind this column. Then the next frame you have the explosion. This is the camera from that column that was just hidden. I believe it is more... There we go. Okay, in this one you can see the full plane. Okay, it's not just the nose. That is not the nose. That is the trail of white smoke you see in the other videos. Okay, you can see there's like purple, reddish, bluish stuff there. I mean, it's really hard to see. But RK Owens 4, if you've heard of that guy on YouTube, I mean, he believes the official story. He's done, you know, he does like 2-minute videos, you know, supposedly debunking. Well, actually, he does a good job of debunking controlled demolitioners a lot of the time. And this is one of these points, you know, with us saying, you know, no videos of the Pentagon event actually show the plane. They do. Okay, this one does. It's really the only one that does. The other one is hidden behind a column. The Doubletree Hotel video. Well, I guess it's in that one, but it's none of the videos are clear enough for us to draw any conclusions, for anyone to draw any conclusions other than that there was this object. We can't see anything clear about it, but we definitely have video footage of it. In the Citgo video, there's a shadow in there. It is in the right place according to the official story, you know, in the angle of the sun shining down on, what am I trying to say? The place that the sun was in the sky, it would have cast a shadow of Flight 77, and part of it that should be visible in the Citgo video is there. So, I mean, it's not much to go on, but it's definitely there, and we can't ignore that. So, the one concern that I have, though, is that if you've seen Massimo Mazzucco, I hope I didn't botch that, If you've seen his 5-hour documentary, September 11, The New Pearl Harbor, you know, it's the classic controlled demolition stuff. I do not recommend it. He spends like 6 minutes in there talking about the issue with these two pieces of footage, the security camera one and then the 5 frames sequence, full sequence. Like, weird name I gave it there. He talks about how there's an issue with the placement of the plane. The two videos do contradict each other to some extent. Now, the one issue, the one thing he just screws up pretty horribly, is him saying this is the nose of the plane, and it's not. And that's what he assumes. This is actually the full plane, but there still is some sort of discrepancy that I have not yet seen resolved. I don't know what to think about it. Again, any help would be appreciated. I was going to do a video on it and say, you know, oh, look, Massimo Mizuko is just, you know, spewing disinformation. And to some extent he was, whatever, because he said that that was the nose of a plane and it's not. But again, there still is a discrepancy there, and I don't know what to do with it. And I have not seen anyone talk about it before. So, anyways, and I have seen CIT's stuff. I think I've said that before. Okay, moving on now, and I closed out of September Clues, of course. Let's see. Originals, September Clues. There we go. Back to this. And my next thing was, oh yeah, perspectives. Just shut up. Anyone who's plotted all the locations knows why the perspectives differ. Or why it appears that the plane path contradicts itself when you compare videos. It doesn't. Okay? It just stop. I don't even need to address this. It's been dealt with thoroughly it's been dealt with by Richard, by Akeem Spock, Richard in 2012, Akeem Spock in 2009, by Matt Nelson and Eugene Debs on the website 911conspiracy.tv. Anyone who still uses this as an argument, you're completely uninformed, you have no meaningful defense of your position whatsoever, and you're just ignorant and deceived. Or deceiving. 2 Timothy 3:13, and evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. I know that is not what that verse is about, but it just popped into my head right now. You know, a lot of people might just keep propagating these lies, and not realizing that they're incorrect, even though they may sincerely believe that they are correct. But people like Simon Scheck, there's no way that he is just deceived. He's a deceiver. Okay? Let's see. One of the things that he talks about is... Oh, it's too far. Let's see. Yeah. The plane color is different, you know, it shouldn't be black in one and white in another. The reason for that is because it's blue. It's not black. It's a dark blue on the underside and a light blue right here. And actually this, I don't want to get into the whole missing wing fiasco right now, but there is some tie-in with this wing being brighter, and for that reason it is missing in a lot of pieces of footage. And I hope Chris went into this in his film. I'm pretty sure he did, because he got pretty much everything in there. I mean, it was a 35,000 foot range. He couldn't go into that much detail, but he did cover it. And I encourage you to do some more study on the missing wing issue. It's all the lower quality videos that don't have it, and I think that the reason for that is that whatever image projection, volumetric three-dimensional image technology was being used to make this wing brighter, so it looked like it was reflecting the sun. There was something with the cameras that could not record in high quality, that they were not, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, I'm just stumbling over all my words. But there's some connection there. I'm certain. So, yeah. It's blue, not black. That's why in some videos you're going to see it darker, some you're going to see it lighter. And actually, if you go around watching the different videos, you know, from a lot of angles it looks black. From the west, it's completely black. From the east, it's completely black. If you get more towards, well, actually from the north, it looks more silvery. But if you go towards the south, whoops. Zoom out here, sorry. If you go towards the southeast, a lot of these videos, you're going to start seeing blue, red. You're going to start seeing a united plane. Now, it's only within, like, right here's kind of the line of demarcation. I guess more like the east-southeast. Jennifer Spell is kind of the limit. But you can definitely see a united logo on the plane in her footage. Park Foreman, definitely there as well. Officer L. Perez. That one is by far the clearest because look at that. That is definitely a united plane. I don't have the best quality image here. You can find higher quality images out there, I'm sure. That there's a united logo there. It's definitely blue. You can see why it's going to show up black in some and white in others. I mean, you can even see that in here. So enough on that. You get the point, I hope. And if you don't, it's your own fault. And I shouldn't have to constantly review this stuff that's been debunked for years. It's ridiculous. Mark Trottenberg, which is this footage that he brings up, you know, oh, the Glass Man. If you get the original footage, the Nisfoya version, not this second-rate copy, this issue's gone. Actually, if you look on the channel that the original Nisfoya footage is on, it's just one of those one of those channels like WTC 911 Nisfoya, you know, one of those channels that just uploads the raw versions and then has timestamps. It's one of those videos, one of those channels. And on the Mark Trottenberg video, Mark Trottenberg himself comments, you know, hey, this is my footage. How'd you get a hold of this? So I think that's interesting. Unless that's someone just pretending to be him. But, you know, I don't see any reason to think that. Okay, perfect. Or not. He brings up this thing with the Luis Alonso footage, and with the path, you know, there's no issue when you plot it out on Google Earth. But one thing about this footage, we do see strobe lights. It's not showing up in here, but look at the original footage. You will see strobe lights. You do not see strobe lights in any other footage. Or any other photo, anything. This is the only one that I found that actually shows strobe lights. If you can show them to me in another one, please do. That would be great. But is that more evidence of this being a volumetric three-dimensional image? Probably, yeah. I don't see why it would only show up in this one and not in others. So, moving on to Peter Street. I don't want to get into that right now. Okay, he talks about this audio stuff. You know, oh, there's, you know, drums and cymbals and, you know, file cabinets closing and everything. Oh, this one with the artificial soundtrack. Of course that's an artificial soundtrack, you idiot. Do you honestly think that's what the... come on. Well, if you don't know this one.
Something that made it clear that the first plane wasn't an accident.
Okay, so obviously everyone knows where that woman screaming, where that came from. That's from the Chris Hopewell footage. That's Carol S. Wells. Maybe I shouldn't have said her name, but you can search for her name. That is her name. Do not go about trying to contact them, though. They're completely scarred. Chris did that, and yeah, they've gone through a lot, so please don't bother them. Okay, they're victims at this point. They were victims from the very beginning, and they've been even more victimized because of idiots like Simon Shack, Ace Baker, and the whole host of others saying that they're liars. Okay? Back to this, to the audio differences. The only reason I think that we have these audio differences is partly because people are all over the city recording in different places. Of course there's going to be differences in audio, but also because there was some sort of advanced technology going on that was in use. There were some issues. It was not entirely authentic. Think Carmen Taylor. We have her testimony when Jeff Hill called her, when he asked, hey, was there anything unusual? And she said, yeah, it was quiet. So I think Simon brings this up somewhere later when he talks about, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so I think the reason for that is because there was some sort of advanced technology being used, etc. Some of the reasons also for these audio differences that we see in September Clues is that Simon Shack edits them. Just compare what he has in here with the original footage of each clip. You'll see he put those sounds in there. The only one that he did not edit is the Jennifer Spell, when it sounds like Carol Wells is screaming in that one too, but it's not the same scream. It does sound like it's her voice, I admit that. A lot of people have similar sounding voices, so that's not really, you can have one exception to the rule. Yeah.
When it flew out of New Jersey and it came in, it just...
I don't know if... Anyways, yeah, but... Okay. And then he does bring up the thing with... Oh yeah, there he had that. Bob and Bree. Bob and Bree are victims as well, and I'm not trying to say that they're lying. I do think there is something a little fishy with the fact that we don't have the second hit in their footage. Is it possible that they ended the camera, that they stopped the recording and missed it? Yes. I just think there's something a little strange with that, and pretty much everyone does. I'm not alone in this, so I think you all can sympathize. But the thing with the ambulance in the background that he brings up is, again, that falls apart when you actually listen to the original footage. Okay. Let's see, how long have I been going on here? Like 50 minutes? Okay, I still have, just so you can see my notes here. I'm up to here, and I still have this to get through. So I was hoping to be done by now, but then again, this is just a list. You know what? Let me end it for today. I'll upload a second part. I'm sorry this went on so long, but I hope that it does show you all these places. Well, I haven't gotten into the meat of it yet. These are more peripheral things, but all these places where Simon Shack just completely distorts the actual video audio, photo evidence that's out there of the events of September 11th. This is indefensible. There's nothing in here that anyone can say is a valid point. Okay? Nothing. It may have taken 10, 11, 12 years to actually refute some of the points, but they've been refuted. There's not a single point in here that still stands. I mean, okay, maybe there's a few, like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to try to find them. Sure, there might be a few random small tidbits, whatever. The bulk of this is pure disinformation, and anyone who considers this to be authoritative is deceived horribly. And I pity you. I'm sorry if you've been deceived. I hope that I can help you to break free from this prison that you're in if you still believe that this is a solid defense of the video fakery position. But if you're still going to hold to video fakery after some of the things I've put out, I'm kind of just like trailing after everyone else. All the bulk of the work has been done in years before me, and I'm just here saying, yep, there's these things too, more lies, whatever. So, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say today. There was something, I was thinking about something else I was going to say as I was saying all that other stuff. September clues, there's no meaningful defense that you have of this. Gosh, what was it? I'm sorry. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, well. Thank you all for watching. And, yeah, sorry. I'm still trying to think of what that was. It must have been something with the locations and the... I don't know, but I encourage you to... What's this? Oh, still have that open. I encourage you to do what I did. Watch the live TV coverage. Okay, this is 17 different stations. And then I sorted them out. And then I'm going to get to this in the next video. But the whole thing about, oh, actually, most people originally reported seeing a small plane. That's not true. This is the total for Flight 11. Of those that actually gave a size, that's what you have. Okay, most of them did not see a small plane. Okay? And I have the names listed. I have how far away they were. It's interesting that the smaller plane, 8.5 miles away. Whereas all the ones with a larger plane, this is for Flight 11, 0.91, I will give you the 3.69, whatever, 3.28, half a mile, 1.23, all these are within a mile or two. These ones, the smaller ones, Stewart, unknown, okay. I will give you, okay, these are within the 2 mile range, but you have 8.5 miles right there. Medium, again, everything's pretty much the same. So I guess, it's based on what they thought they saw, what they thought they remembered. Same thing with 175. I mean, this one, 15 out of the 42 people reported seeing a large plane. Most people didn't even say anything, but 4 small, 1 medium. Okay? And, again, the smaller plane, excuse me. You actually, wait, did you have... Yeah, Kareem Araki, if I'm saying that correctly, saw 11 and 175. And whoever this person is, they must have moved, because that says 0.55, that's 0.61, or 0.62, 15.07, 15 point... Okay, I don't know. That's weird. It's back in December, I threw this together. So, whoever this person is at least reporting a consistent size for both flights. And, again, 5.69 miles. You do have some people saying, who was it? Someone reported that the second explosion was 10-fold larger than the first. Let me find it. Was that it up there that I just passed too quickly? No. Sorry. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, it's the number 10. Yeah, Richard Thompson. Okay, so he saw Flight 11, said it was a small business jet. Didn't see the second one, but did see the explosion, which was 10-fold larger. Okay, so wait. Let's just analyze this really quickly now that I'm doing this. 8th floor of 632 Broadway. Let's look that up. 632 Broadway. Where is this? Okay. Right here. So he would have seen something like this. If you go to, I don't know what is up with File Explorer, just doing this to me. It was not doing this before I started. I don't know what's up with it. What do I want to? AA11. Here's all of what we get from Wolfgang Steele. This is the extent of the explosion, okay? That, and then this. Okay, I got these frames from 9/10 The Final Hours. Go watch that. It's a very good documentary. There's so much in there that completely refutes a lot of allegations that have been made over the years, such as Flight 11 actually did take off. Who was it? I don't know. Someone at the airport was directing Flight 11 out, waved to John Oganowski. Anyways, so the size of the explosion for this one, it's not nearly as, I don't want to say magnificent, because it was definitely horrible, but that's about all you get. And actually, if you look at this, it kind of is the same size as, let's just go to miscellaneous explosion, as that. Okay, this one, there's a lot more red and orange everywhere. Come on. Okay, this one definitely from, who was that? Richard Thompson, I think. It definitely was, he would have perceived it as 10-fold larger. There's obviously going to be some amount of exaggeration. It's an eyewitness report. Again, you tend to exaggerate things, especially since this is, 4240. Camera angle changes. So that's, what would that, that's around 9:30 or so that he says that. So, again, you'd have time to exaggerate that in your mind. Whatever, it's not that important. Okay, I said I was going to do this in the next video, so I'm actually going to end it now. I've gone on, oh my gosh, for like an hour. So, again, thank you all for watching. I am honored that you all decided to subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. I've gotten like 84 subscribers. I have like 84 subscribers now, I think, which is more than the 30 I had last year. So, not too many at all, but, thank you to all of my subscribers for continuing to support me by watching everything that I put out. And, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. So, I will see you in the next video where I will deal with the rest of all these things. And I'm really going to get into the meat of what I wanted to talk about today. There's so much misrepresentation of all these witnesses, and especially on the part of Simon. The disinformation he put out was not helpful. But I'm going to get into that later because there's so much there. But again, thank you, and I will see you next time.